Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday to you. We are here to talk about what could be a future Longhorn star by a young man of Derrek Cooper out of South Florida, Chaminade Madonna Preparatory School down there in Hollywood. Could he be the next Bijan Robinson? That's the name of the conversation. That's what we're doing today. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Good morning to all of you guys. And by the way, does the chat look small on your end? It was tiny on my side. Like it was like just like the low font. So let me know what you guys see on your end as well. So let me do a real quick retreat because I'm excited to talk about this, and I'm excited to talk about young Derrek Cooper, because for those of you who may not know or aren't familiar with him or anything like that, he is a 5-star running back who is currently on campus, and he is a guy that Texas clearly has a lot of high hopes for in the future. And the conversation really gets started about Derrek Cooper as relates to the Bijan thing. And it does look small on your end, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Hold on, let me just do this and pop y'all back on the screen and see if that makes a difference. I don't know what happened. So, but it's tiny. But that's what she said. And what Mr. Cooper does is he posts something yesterday on Instagram, and he posted this. And so it is in his Instagram stories. So feel free to go ahead and give the young man a follow if you have not followed him on Instagram or Twitter. He had some music that was playing to it. Money B can recognize all the songs, right? I know Money B's got it down. Court's probably got it down. Nate probably knows the songs. Green Lantern has no clue. But he posted that he's going to be wearing that number 5, that Bijan Robinson number 5, while he is here at Texas. And then one of our guys, I believe it was Jalen, one of our people who work behind the scenes in our graphics, put together what could be potentially what he looks like wearing that number 5. I gotta admit, it's kind of a pretty damn sick edit. That's really, really good. These kids are talented. These kids are talented, man. I couldn't do this if I tried. I would need ChatGPT. And it makes you start thinking about the future of what could be with young Derrek Cooper as he gets ready to start his Texas journey. And he's been committed to Texas for a while, obviously. And there's a lot of things I want to get into as relates to him. But first of all, now that we got that settled, and we have a chat that is literally as microscopic can be. I don't know what the hell's going on with our chat. I hope first and foremost for Derrek Cooper, who I went and did a little bit of a dive into his profile and everything like that. First and foremost, it seems like he has a great family. Looks like he has a great support system, right? And so, that in itself will be something that helps and yields, unprecedented dividends for them in the future, because that's one of the things that Bijan had. The thing that I hope more so than anything else, and those of you guys who are parents will appreciate what I'm about to say, is that, one of the best compliments that you can give a parent is to tell them that their son or daughter are just really good, amazing people. In spite of whether it's the talent that they may have, and whether it's athletics, maybe it's academics, maybe it's, music, whatever the case may be, as long as people tell you you have a good kid, that resonates. That means something to parents, right? That means everything to me. The thing I hope for, and I can already tell that there's makings here of this, and without knowing the family, the ins and outs, right? Just judging from a surface level, it looks like he has those things because in those attributes. Because the one thing that made Bijan Robinson, when we start having a conversation about Bijan, the thing to me that made Bijan great was that he was an amazing human being, just an amazing human being. And I will always remember that when Bijan decided that he was going to go pro and decided to skip his senior year and had that press conference, sometimes it's just the little things in life that stand out, and you just always remember it. And I remember, he thanked a lot of people. And then at the end of it, he literally specifically thanked the media and said, I want to thank you guys for covering me and all the articles that you wrote about me. And, I appreciate all the hard work that you guys put in. And he went on and on and on, right? And I was like, wow, that don't happen a lot. I don't see that too much, right? And then what he did, which will always stand out to me, is that afterwards, he then went and shook all of our hands. Thank you, Anwar. Appreciate you. Thank you, Cedric. I think he even shook Kurt Bowles' hands. That's how good of a guy he is. Right? But I think he shook everybody's hands. So, but it just showed me, and it was a confirmation of what I already knew, right? Which was, he is a tremendous young athlete, but he's also a tremendous person, right? So when Derrek Cooper wears number 5, right? Then it's so funny. Somebody goes, "It's just a number. Who cares?" But then why are you commenting? So funny. If you don't care, then why are you watching? Just go somewhere else. It's kind of hilarious. So that's what makes him, I think, for me, Bijan, like, such a great person. And then I think that's what Cooper, if anything he wants to aspire to, first and foremost, is just being a great human being. Then, man, if you achieve that, man, you've achieved more than most people have achieved, because all of us have met a bunch of a-holes in our life, right? And so we had that. Now, here is some other stuff I want to share with you. Now, I've been trying to figure out ways to maybe show you some stuff, some highlights for you guys who aren't that familiar with Derrek Cooper. And I try to figure out ways not to get super copyright strikes. So let's do a couple of shout outs, okay? And I'm thinking if I give some shout outs here, that this might help in this area, right? So I got to his Instagram page. And so if you guys aren't familiar with him, follow him here. I'm going to take the chat down for a second. Chat's kind of annoying me anyway. Sometimes it's Restream is what we use, right? So and I'm going to give shout outs here. And you just haven't seen the young man. Shout out to Crusher Athletics for this.
Same play.
I'll do it again. All done. Now you got
it. Check this one out here. We got that speed, that balance. I mean, right here. I don't know. For the older generation, that looks like a Karate Kid. I don't know. Again, shout out to Pressure Athletics. Pressure Athletics. Follow them on Instagram. Because Pressure Athletics is the one that put this together. I don't want to even take any credit for them. Pressure Athletics. Make sure you check them out. Now, check this other one.
Yeah, I got you. Don't throw another one.
I like his energy. I mean, his energy is pretty. Now look at this one here. This one's got a 5 score.
already got 100 yards first quarter. I'm gonna go for some more. I said, I do 90.
Yeah, first of all, shout out to 305. Shout out to everybody that puts out there. Go follow all those guys on their social medias and go ahead and check them out. And again, go get on Derrek Cooper's thing, Derrek, Derrek Cooper Jr. If you just guys want to check out more of his highlights, go and check that out there, because the young man is sick. The young man is, whoo. That young man is smoking. What is up with the chat? It looks horrible today. Okay, so yes, and Text Blonde says, I got chills. He's going to be something special at Texas. Yes, 100%. And by the way, Green Lantern, I think it's the Karate Kid celebration, but I'll be honest with you. When it comes to young people, I have no clue what they are or are not doing. I stay in my own lane. They might be doing Karate Kid. It might be something that there's, I don't know, Wiz Khalifa might be doing. I don't know. So I'm not quite 100% sure, right? So and good morning to everybody. Like I said, I don't know how to fix the chat, but hopefully this will go okay with you. So then, so we got to look at Sark's history with running backs. Let's go through Sark's history with running backs. As we start talking about Derrek Cooper, we start talking about what Sark himself and how he uses them. Here is the Sarkisian history. And let's go here. Okay. So the crazy part, we'll start from where last year to, and then we'll work our way backwards, right? The last year, it really wasn't that. And we know it wasn't that from the running backs. And there was a lot of different things that went into why Sark didn't have 1,000-yard running back or even come close. But we'll go past that. Trey Wisner, the previous year, he eclipses 1,000. We get Jonathan Brooks, who was at one point one of the best running backs in the country before he got hurt. And then we get into those Bijan, 2 good years that Sark had him. Don't forget he was a Tom Herman recruit. But you had Bijan, and really the 2022 years, the year that we really, really remember Bijan for what he was able to do. And then, of course, 2021, it was kind of like when Bijan was knocking on the door. And we'll get into the little specifics for there. But if you are Derrek Cooper, it's the Bijan for sure when you look at 2022. And then the thing that gets you pumped is the Najee Harris years at Alabama, because that's the thing that you say to yourself, and especially as a young person who's familiar with Najee, when he gets to see, okay, that workload, that usage, like how he was able to really, really explode, during that, especially that national championship year or years, then all of a sudden you're like, damn, I want to be the next, of course, Bijan, of course, but then there's the Najee stuff right there, right? 2015, it doesn't happen, but it's pretty damn close, right? As far as 2015 USC is concerned. Then there's the 2014 years. And then really, it's really when Sark kind of made his mark was those Washington years. And by the way, shout out to my producer, Tyler, who I always joke with and always play around with, but these are really good numbers. I like actually how he did the color distinction for the years. I mean, that's a soft touch. But it's a really good one. And it's really that Bishop Sankey, Chris Polk kind of, usage where he's just like, man, I got my number one back, and that's what I do. And that's always the thing. Like when people and just look at this, right? When you look at Bishop Sankey and you look at Najee, and to a certain degree, you look at Bijan, you always know there's tendencies, right? And one of the tendencies for Steve Sarkisian has been when he has his number one guy, that's his workhorse. Even Trey Wisner in 2024 had 226 carries, right? So that is so when we start talking about 2026 and people are going to start telling you things like, well, there's so much talent here, and I expect there to be equal distribution here and there. It's like, do you know Sark? Have you met this guy? Like that's not what he does. He doesn't. And if he did it at Alabama, he'll do it at Texas. He just understands when you have his trust, you have his confidence in you. When he believes in you, then he works with you, and that's exactly what he's done throughout his career. And you really get to see it, on display, on evidence, right? So that's kind of the history of Sark's rushers and everything. Now, here's the thing that I think is going to be part of the secret sauce for young Derrek Cooper. And one of the things that's going to be part of the secret sauce for him is he's going to have patience. Because you guys know this, right? Everybody always looks at the finished product. But people don't always want to talk about the process that it takes to get it there. I know I'm preaching now. Pass the offering bucket around. But no one wants to ever talk about the process of what it takes. And there will be a process that happens. I want to show you guys this. And then let me see, make sure I can get this one a little bit. Can I keep you guys on the screen as well? Yeah, that's decent. Let me just scroll up just a little bit here. It's like everyone remembers 2022 Bijan, but people forget 2020 Bijan. And how many of y'all remember the 2020 Bijan who was putting the ball on the ground? Y'all remember that? Like, we remember Bijan, the finished product, right? But there was, when Bijan got started at Texas, you're like, oh, Lord, is he going to hold on to this ball? Right? Like, that happened. And there was that point, too, where Bijan decides that he's going to jump over a guy and at Tech and lands on his neck. And we're like, well, first of all, is he okay? Right? Because the way that neck snapped, I thought, oh my God, are we going to see the worst at this moment? Thankfully, he ended up being okay. And it only ended up being like a neck sprain, which is a miracle in itself, right? But then he had to learn, like, okay, you know what? Probably don't need to be jumping over people. That's probably not good for business, right? And so the process of Bijan being a running back, right? Bijan had to learn how to hold on to the football, which it was a struggle at first. Then he had to learn, hey, you know what? I might not need to jump over people because I might die. So he had to learn that, right? And then, of course, he gets, when Sark starts working with him and Sark has him. And again, 2022 becomes that year, but he also had to learn, to share a role with Roschon Johnson. Roschon was super effective as well. Roschon ends up being a third-round pick. And so, again, there's this process, this maturation process. Like I said, we all look at the finished product, but there's the process that you got to go through in order to get there. And so for young Derrek Cooper, he's got to be willing to go through that process that it's going to take, the maturation process of that. And what that process, in order to get to the product, also means that you're going to have what? Patience. I really do feel like I am preaching today. But you're going to have patience in order to get there, right? Because if we look at just 2026, the reality is for Mr. Cooper, hanging with Mr. Cooper, that, hey, probably the third string back. Now, I know he's a competitor, right? The young man's a competitor. So he probably look at me like, I don't know about though. I don't know what string you talking about. I'm going to. My goal is to come in here to be a starter. And listen, I am not a dream killer. If the young man can do it, so be it. But I know he's thinking to himself, like, I'm probably gonna come in and be a starter. But the reality is, Texas brought in two guys. With Smothers and Raleek, where at end of the day, he's going to probably be the third string back, right? And that's okay. You still get run. You'll still get a lot of opportunities, throughout the season. And the thing is, and you knock on wood for stuff, but he's a guy that's got to stay ready because look, it's hard for running backs to stay healthy for 12 games in a season. It's a lot. It takes a toll on the body. It's just really, really hard, right? So he's got to stay ready and be ready. But if he's patient, then realistically, he puts himself in a great place for 2027 to really be that guy, the bell cow, the workhorse, to all those things, right? But and again, it's okay, and that's what. And Tucker, that's you and I are in the same place, Tucker. Same thing. Like 2026 might not be it, but 2027, again, you get in here, you learn, and look, we've seen all these young running backs who've come in. And look, CJ Baxter never panned out, right? But so we never know what the end result of him is going to be. But most of the times when you get the young backs in here, it takes some time. It takes some time to grow. It takes some time to develop, right? But 2027 is probably going to be the year that he gets there. Now the question becomes: can he? Will he? Is he that dude? That's the question, right? You know what? Somebody once told me, like, if you set your goals low, you'll achieve them every time. If you set your goals low, you'll achieve them every time. So if his goal is to be that, you know what? I'm with you. I think he's got the potential to do that. We saw the highlights. I think he can get even stronger than what he is right now. Because right now, first of all, let me show you how strong this dude is right now. Like just right now, this dude is sick. So dude right here, I mean, this, just some simple here. That's kind of how I work out, by the way. That's kind of how I work out. And then, I mean, the dude's already cut. The dude's already strong, right? And you can see that there's room for even more. You can see that there's room. I don't want to. Let me take the sound off so I don't get copywritten here. But you can already see the strength here. But you can even look and see, okay, those leg muscles. They can add more to the thighs there. Add a little bit more to the upper body. I'm just talking about a little bit. I'm talking about we damn near the finished product. I'm just talking about adding in a little bit more. Yeah, that's kind of how I work out. That's kind of how my summer body looks. No one ever. I think when it's all said and done, when you try to get there, yes, I think he's going to go and have a fantastic, successful career here at Texas. Will he be the next Bijan? I don't know. But he's going to be a really damn good Derrek Cooper. And honestly, that's all Texas needs, and that's all the young man needs as well. And Sandman says he needs to work on his form, though. Listen, that's why Torrey Becton is here. That's why the strength and conditioning program is here. That's for them to work on and get those things kind of worked out. And so that's why I keep saying, like, you can see, okay, there's room for growth. But if this is our starting point, there's nowhere to go from here. All right, y'all, got to get out of here. Remember, I always say, live your day like it's your last. One day it will be. Go out, do something special for yourself. Enjoy it. Have a fantastic Wednesday. I'll be back tomorrow. Put me in the comments, in the chats. Do you think Derrek Cooper will be the next Bijan Robinson? Let me know what you think. And like the video, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. Y'all take care. Have a